Welcome to the Selling in the Motor Trade podcast, in association with Simco Training. This is the weekly podcast where we share best practice, tips and ideas on how to sell more cars, improve your service department, and generally put more profit into your dealership or dealer group. I'm your host, Simon Bowkett. Now, some of you probably already know me as Skippy. I want to start by saying thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. Okay, listen, we talked lots about sourcing stock and lots of weird and wonderful stock there. Let's talk about getting it sold now. And I know you joined the panel on your discussions about wearing your dealership off the Auto Trader drug. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to get your views on Auto Trader's Deal Builder, how it's reshaping the buying journey. I want to get the good, the bad, the ugly of it on Auto Trader's Deal Builder. There's been lots of controversy around this.
Yeah, so I think another thing to mention as well is obviously Google coming into the market. I saw
Yeah.
that announcement in the last week or so, which is going to be a big sweaty moment for Auto Trader, especially with how they've played their cards recently. I think Auto Trader, and I can only speak from my experience in the trade of a few years, not the guys that are much more experienced than me that have been 10, 15, 20 years plus. But I think Auto Trader have kind of bullied their way into being where they are to make these decisions. I think that they're making decisions and it's kind of like, well, this is what we're doing, irrelevant if they say they've trialed it. I think making it optional from day one was the right thing to do. And that for me would have been the way that it didn't come across in the wrong way to dealers. But
Agreed. Yeah.
to do that from day one, it is the bully tactic to say, this is happening, this is being rolled out, like
You
it
will
or
have
not
it.
like it. And that's what's rubbed dealers up the wrong way. I find from dealing with a lot of dealers, they like to sell cars how they like to sell cars. I know a dealer that is 100% people walking in the business, and for us, it's 100% online
Yeah.
because we don't have a glass box. So,
Yep.
so people like to sell cars and they want to, and I think telling people how you should be selling cars and also harvesting all that data, they're not stupid. Auto Trader will know that harvesting all that data is going to be a massive asset to them in the next few years, that they can go to a finance house or a bank and say, look, we've got X amount of millions of customers here that have all funded cars or deposited on cars. We own all this data. How
That's
much
the
would you
value.
pay us for
Of
this
course.
data?
Yeah.
So data is king in any business, and it's a monetary thing. And I just think they've gone about it in a brash way. It could have been so much cleaner and much more effortlessly done, but
I,
they've just kind of gone F you, basically.
Yeah, I get both sides of it. Okay. Deal
Yeah,
Builder, how it can work from the consumer's point of view. I mean, sitting there, putting it on hold and the dealer can't sell it for however long it is, all that sort of stuff there. I get both sides of that. For me, it's the mandatory side of it.
yeah,
Okay, it's you will have it, the FU, as you just said. You're dead
yeah,
right. That's the bit where, hold on, guys, this is the evidence. This is how it will help you. You will turn your stock a lot quicker doing this.
yeah.
Okay, try it, give yourself a trial, anything like that. But it's just no, you will have it or not.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Auto Trader for what they've built and the I think people miscommunicate with people how good the data and the back end system is for dealers. It is fantastic. You do pay for what you get, but
Mm.
it needs to be more so on the dealer's side of things. For me, when I first started the business and I rang up to get an Auto Trader package, I nearly fell off my chair. Because I couldn't understand how a dealer pays more than a private individual. For me, trade should mean that it's cheaper, but I could never really understand that. So as I kind of went up the ranks in the packages, every time it's a rate increase or it's a package increase, it's just mind blowing the value. But there's no one to compete with them, so they do have the monopoly. They control the system until your likes of your Google come along and say, right, well, we're getting into this arena, and then you've got a heavyweight fight there, which is only going to be good for dealers because it gives more variety and hopefully better pricing, which doesn't starve the dealers of profit, which is a big thing in this industry, especially with the kind of overheads that everyone's got.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be interesting with Google, and it's let's just watch what happens there, I suppose.
Yeah, it's going to be
Uh,
really interesting. As I say, I think that Google are going to be smart enough to sit back and watch all of this unfolding and watch all the fallout, and they're going to come with a really attractive proposition for dealers, and that's then going to be a real big question mark for Auto Trader, because are a lot of people going to switch off from Auto Trader and hop over to Google because there's a half price offer, or it's various different elements to it that are better or as good as Auto Trader for a fraction of the price. Let's see. I don't know where they're going to go with pricing yet, but it's going to be very interesting because they control a lot more than Auto Trader do, obviously being Google. So there's going to be much more direct advertising, I would assume, than Auto Trader kind of data in the background.
In my simple mind, and bear in mind, I started washing cars for a living. So, but in my simple mind, the dealers will go where the customs are, and
Yeah,
the
of course.
customs will go where the cars are.
Yep.
Okay, and it's just whoever can get that, that's where customers are going to go, where they can get the
Yep.
range of what they want.
100%. I mean, we've tried various different platforms. I said in the podcast I'd done previously that we was trying, numerous different ones, but they just don't get the clients that
I
Auto
imagine
Trader.
your world though. I imagine piston heads and stuff like that. Is that still not get you the in that high end? Again, I don't understand the world. If you've got like a 600,000 pound Ferrari or whatever, is it still Auto Trader?
Yes and no. When you start to go into that level, really the buyers want stuff that's off market.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
your buyers that are looking in those realms, you're kind of £500,000 plus. They don't want stuff that's on Auto Trader. Auto Trader still is for supercars.
Mm.
Piston heads, I think, is more so for the specialists, very unique. Your Porsche buyers, your Aston buyers. But even so, we've had Aston Martins and Porsches on there. It's just an Auto Trader thing. We are trialing social media ads and algorithms that kind of specifically goes much more tailored to people. So I'm waiting for a few months of that to kind of see how feasible and how well that does. But as a whole, Auto Trader, you just can't beat it at the moment. There is nothing that gives you the views and the calls that Auto Trader does.
Mm. In your world, are you looking at used EVs at this stage, or are you saying no,
So
not
this,
at the moment? It's
yeah. So
there's a can of worms we can open up.
this is a thing that surprises a lot of main dealers, a lot of people in the industry. I can't buy EV cars because I can't sell them, and I'm in central London, and it blows people's minds.
Yeah.
We've tried Teslas. We actually had ultra high net worth guy who's a seed investor to Tesla, SpaceX, Instagram. We bought his EQS. And it was an absolute monster spec EQS. We priced it so attractively, we ended up trading out of it. Couldn't sell it here in central London. We've
Wow.
tried so many different EVs and they just don't sell. So for me, I won't put my name to EVs. I'll trade out of them if someone needs an underwrite on them, but I'll at the moment I just can't. I can't put our money into an EV. I would be bidding them kind of so far below what the realms of being accepted would be that people just wouldn't take it. So yeah, it is funny. The guys that I'm trading them out to are in the middle of the countryside, and they lap them up. There's a few guys that are Tesla and EQE and EQS mad, and they can't get enough of them. But we can't sell them. We just don't. No matter how we advertise them, they
I,
just don't go.
I'm shocked because I'm thinking central London, that's where the
Yeah.
market would be for them.
Just yeah, can't sell them. We've tried various, and people say maybe it's a price point thing. So when I speak to Audi say that they do great on EVs under 30 grand. Anything
Mm.
above that, they struggle with.
Yeah.
We've tried Teslas at 12 grand to test the market. We've tried, your electric Audis at mid 20 grand. Just can't sell them. They just don't go. They're the worst performing thing, even on your kind of your 5 litre Range Rovers with red exterior, red interior, you think will take absolute ages to sell, will sell quicker than an EV and a great spec EV as well. It's just it doesn't make sense, but that's how the market is here.
Be interesting to see how that works when if the mandates happen, keeps on going. With 2030 at the moment, is it
Yeah, I
2035? It got pushed back to.
Yeah, I think they might have extended. I just can't see it for me. The infrastructure, I mean, the country's yeah, outside of cars is struggling in its own right. I just can't see the infrastructure being in place, and I think the adoption isn't there, and I think the government haven't helped enough. I'm not an EV fan personally. I think that they have a place. We had a little electric Mini, and I didn't really understand it until we had one and used it day to day, where it made great sense in a city like this. I'm not a big EV fan, but I think that the government have really kind of done like a diesel move where they said everyone buy diesel, and then all of a sudden all the taxes went up, and they've done exactly the same with the EVs. The price of electric now and charging, unless you're charging at home on a specific charger, it's just mental. Lotus gave me a fully electric Lotus to try, and I drove it down to my parents on a weekend, and I could only find a fast charger in one place, and it cost me more than it would have done for filling up in petrol to charge that car. So for me, it just didn't make sense. And I know there'll be people out there that say it makes perfect sense for them,
Yeah.
and that's great. But for me and my kind of core car mad boy growing up, it's just not a car. That's just an A to B way of getting around. It doesn't give you passion. It doesn't make you feel good when you drive it. Same with the Taycans and things like that. Beautiful car, but it should have had an engine in it. That's what I say to everyone. So yeah, it's just my views and how the market is for us here.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you can charge at home, they kind of really stack up.
Yeah,
If you just look at the financial side of it there,
yeah,
and it'll be interesting to see. I suppose we're looking at 30 odd percent of new cars are sold EV now, and I suppose we're more used to that side of it. But it's so interesting to listen to your views from the used side of it, not
yeah.
taking them on still and can't sell them there. It's I think there's definitely they come down to a certain point, they sell,
Yeah.
and they really do. And once customers get into them, they kind of it's quite it's so interesting to hear it from your side of it because again, at my age, uh, give me an uh, give me an old flat six air cooled all day long, and I would love
Yeah,
that. And I'm at the age where I love more an older car than
yeah,
even a modern car just with a modern ICE engine.
yeah,
Give me something old and air cooled, and I love
yeah,
you all day long. But I suppose you
yeah.
don't get involved with that world. That's very specialist, isn't it?
Only for myself. So I've got a 993.
Oh, nice.
I've got the last of the air cooled. I've kind of verged more into that side of it myself personally. On that kind of stuff, we wouldn't get involved in it, but we would again trade that stuff. That I think that's much more specialist. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I'd want to put my name to it, and our reputation's key. So I couldn't sell a 903 and really put my name to it, knowing that that car's 100% because I just couldn't get the mechanic to look into that depth and be that knowledgeable as plenty of other dealers out there that have that. So
Yeah, it is. Now, listen, lots of people will be listening to this. They might be a sales manager in a traditional dealership and think, I want to go and do it myself. Okay.
mhm.
And maybe they're a little bit nervous about doing it themselves, but you've
Yeah,
done that. You come from a football world and an agent, and then you've taken that big, scary step and
yeah.
you've just done it. What advice do you have for that manager sitting there listening to
I've
this
had a lot of
thinking,
people actually from main dealers. I had a couple of guys from Porsche that actually came out and set up themselves. It's been the best and worst thing I've ever done in my life, to be honest with you. It's been fantastic to obviously be your own boss and to set up something that's credible and that's really talked highly of and has got great relationships. But it's also kind of taken over my life. Obviously, I'm 6, 7 days a week from kind of 4 in the morning. I very rarely have days off, and I know that's what you have to do when building a business. But I guess doing it in central London with high overheads, without anything on site, so all car washes, all mechanic, all repairs off site, is that I've done it at the hardest possible way of doing it. I would say just start small. I see plenty of people, and there is money to be had at small cars because I do it with my father down south. I buy the odd car cheap from auction, and I put it down there, and he'll register it in his name, drive it around for a month or so, and they sell it, and there's still profit there. So I disagree with people that say there's no money in the cheap cars. There is, but you've got to know what you're buying and know what to look out for. So I think I would start with kind of three or four, 4 or 5 grand cars. For me personally, in my views, I think anything below kind of 10 grand is your easy sellers because people tend to have that kind of disposable cash. Anything more than that is finance, and then you've got to go down the route of being authorized or be an IAR, and there's a lot more to it. So if I was to come out of a main dealer and to be selling cars, I'd potentially even start the weekends. I'd go and get two or three cars and try and sell them at the weekend, and then build it and just get a little pitch somewhere. And there's a lot of dealers now that I see popping up on social media that trade from home, and they'll get a garage made up, and they'll have two or three cars, and they'll offer a great service to customers. And I feel like customers are not so scared anymore of buying from independents or people from home, because you just feel more looked after. There's more catering in place in terms of actually spending time with that customer. We do well because we treat customers as if we're all friends. There's not the obviously we're smart casual, but people bring dogs here. There's a cafe here. We have a coffee. We talk about life, their holidays, everything. So it's much more relaxed level of buying. I think people are happy to do that on the smaller cars. So yeah, if it was me starting out from now, I wouldn't do what I've done here because it's been stressful. But yeah, I would start somewhere and kind of, as I say, have two or three cars on a pitch and just build it from there and just get to know the market outside of the main dealer world, because I'm sure I could walk into a main dealer tomorrow, but I'd have to learn a lot, especially on the politics side and your KPIs and everything that people are trying to achieve within main dealers. Whereas for us, it's get a car in cheap and get it sold, and it's about knowing what you're buying, and that's the key in main dealers and here, right? It's the price you pay for the car and how quickly you can turn it.
I'll go tell you, central London, that's the thing that scares me. The price of what you have to pay mechanics, getting people to work, just road testing a car around central London.
Everything.
Not a demonstration drive, just the technicians on servicing a car.
That's
It's
ridiculous. Yes, there's some main dealers that are £250 an hour. So you can imagine if you go in for a diagnostic.
by the way, and still blowing their brains as a dealer
Yeah,
because the overheads. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? So I know a lot of main dealers from speaking to my contacts at kind of board levels and various different dealer groups, is that all their kind of money at the moment, their profit is in the after sales, is in your servicing and your after sales, and in the metal is very little, if anything. So they're catered for that. So in central London, you look at your kind of main dealers here, their overheads must be so big. I mean, ours are crazy for our kind of setup, but it's astronomical. You go down the road and you walk into Ferrari. I mean, the price that they'll be paying will be, yeah, it's just bonkers. So to get any repairs or anything done and MOTs, people laugh when we say the price of some of the stuff we have to do. But look, we've got great relationships with dealers, with MOT centres and repair places, and we're lucky that we've got a mechanic in our storage facility that does a lot of our basic stuff. If it's a specialist car, like we've got an Aston Vantage that we took a punt on, that had full Aston Martin service history and it's due a service. So for me, it's going to Aston Martin West London, and they'll look after us with a trade price, and we'll try and put as much work to people as we can. So it's I think it's about working with dealers, independents and main dealers, and just building a good relationship to help each other. I don't think there's enough that's really done to help each other, because it is a tough market.
Yeah, we've had on the podcast a few times here, Umesh from the IMDA.
Yeah,
The IMDA does a great job with the independent dealers
yeah,
out there, and they really do protect the independent dealers there. And it's something that, and this is why we've reached out to you as well, because we don't have enough independent dealers on the podcast.
yeah,
And it's I know that Umesh has done just a brilliant job
yeah.
out there for what the dealers are doing, which is
Yeah,
good.
so we've just recently joined actually. So we've joined up. I've heard nothing but rave reviews from Umesh as a character, as an individual, and also the kind of work that they're doing. So for us, being linked to not just credible people, but people that are doing good within the industry, for me is important. Like I said at the start, for me, morally and about being a good human is first and foremost. So I think if you follow that into anything you do, you're going to do okay. So that's the kind of reach that I look to do, and the people that I kind of want to align myself with and do business with are just good people, because money's irrelevant. It's about having good relationships with people, and then that should all follow.
Mm. Josh, what's the future for V12?
So for us, it's to probably centralize everything. I'm looking for sites at the moment, or a site in London, that we can centralize our kind of workload to cut down a lot of our time of running around in the cars. It's just making the figures work, though. As you can imagine, the kind of site that we'd need, anything from kind of 2 to 8,000 square foot, is hard to come by in London. And when it does come by, unfortunately, they build apartments, or it goes into something that's much more profitable than renting or selling to a car dealer. So it's very hard to find the location. A lot of people say move out of London, but our kind of remit and the way I want to run the business is London. I don't want to have to travel an hour to go to work, and it might sound silly to some people, but for me, this business has been built on me living 5-6 roads away, and if I have to travel half an hour, that's fine. But I don't want to be outside of London until it's at a point where I can step away from the business in a less day-to-day running of it, and I can have someone come in and help run the business basically. So yeah.
Josh, I've really enjoyed that. Is there anything I should have asked you about your world at V12?
No, I think, as I say, I think we've covered everything. It's unique. It's a lot of people don't realise how the business has been built and what we do, and that we don't operate from a glass box in central London. That it is all appointment only, and we're happy to get involved in various different levels of values of cars. But yeah, I think it pretty much covers everything that we've spoken about, and it's been really good to speak to you.
So if people want to reach out to you, if they want you to underwrite something or stock there, what's the easiest way for people to find you? Is it go to the website? Is it through LinkedIn?
Yeah, they can drop us an email through the website or LinkedIn. People I hope will love me more than they hate me on LinkedIn. I'm probably posting near enough every day on there. LinkedIn's a big marketing tool for us. I speak to a lot of dealers and a lot of independents through LinkedIn, so I'm happy to drop a WhatsApp and do same day kind of pricing on cars or help to place stuff. And again, it's good to build relationships with these people because we get asked for brand new stock and probably approved used bits that we will have to then go and search and ring those dealers. Whereas I'd much rather deal with someone that I've got a relationship with and say, look, you've got a used GC3 Tour in there. I've got a customer for it. And we've done that previously. And it's just good to build relationships with more dealers, basically.
Brilliant. Josh, well, listen, I wish you all the best for the future. I'll be definitely watching the business because 4 years into it now, if I got my maths right there.
So we started early 2022, started trading mid 2022. The first year was pretty tough in terms of getting money into the business. So yeah, it's been about 3 years really. So a lot of growth, but yeah, it's a lot of lessons as well. So fingers crossed, everything will continue and we keep pushing forward.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for that. Really appreciate your time, Josh.
Thank you.
That just leaves me to say that all details of this episode and other episodes on the selling in the motor trade can be found on our website, simcotraining.co.uk. Go there to get a copy of our book, Words That Sell Cars. Go there to sign up to a free trial of our Sales Fitness online sales training program. Easiest way to get hold of me is Simon Bowkett through LinkedIn. Thank you.